Hello, it's Eleanor from Hastings Museum and Art Gallery. This week we're making Christmas decorations and I've got two makes to show you. One is a pomander and that's quite quick, and the other is a tree topper which will take you a little bit longer. These tree topper decorations can sit at the top of your Christmas tree or stand on a shelf or other flat surface. Once you've got the idea, you can make whatever characters you like, but I've made an angel and a Father Christmas to show you how it's done. You'll need a loo roll for each tree topper. Cut out a piece of paper that's wide enough to go round the loo roll and overlap slightly at the end, and tall enough to cover the roll with a small amount sticking out at the bottom. Fold a line where the bottom of the roll will be so you know how much of the paper will show when the topper is finished. Decide which character you want to make and what details you're going to draw on. I've added the face and hands of my angel. If you have coloured paper and card, you can cut out and stick on each part of your character, but I've only got white paper, which is partly why I chose to make an angel, because they wear white. When you're ready, cut some lines from the bottom of the paper to the fold, as I've shown you in the diagram. Then stick the paper to the roll, lining up the top and overlapping the paper slightly around the roll. Put some glue sticks works best, on the underside of the flaps you've cut on the bottom of the paper, fold them inside and stick them down. The next thing to do is to give your character some hair. I've used plain paper and coloured it in, but if you've got different coloured paper you can use that instead. Make sure you have a long enough piece to go all the way round the head of your character. Fold over one long side of the paper. This will be stuck inside the loo roll like in the previous step. Then, leaving a gap between the fold and the main area of paper, cut thin strips to make strands of hair. Turn the paper round so you can then cut wider flaps along the other side of the fold. Put glue along the folded flaps and the gap between the fold and the strands of hair. Line the fold up with the top of the loo roll and stick. Then fold the flaps as before inside the roll to make a neat edge. Finally, cut the hair covering the face to make a fringe. This angel needs some wings. Cut a piece of paper to roughly the right size and fold it in half, and then fold over again to form a little gap between the middle and where you'll cut out the wings. Draw one wing on the paper and then cut out. When you unfold the paper, you'll have two wings and a space in between to stick them to your character. You can use the same technique if you want to make a fairy with wings, but the shape might be different. Draw on any details like feathers. If your tree topper is going to be visible from the back, make sure you draw details on both sides of the wings. You can then glue the wings onto the back of your angel, tucking them behind its hair. Stop there or add a halo. To add a halo, use part of another loo roll. Fold the loo roll flat and cut off about 1/3 of the length. Then cut two slits into the smaller piece, like I've shown you in the picture. The top section will be your halo, so you want this to be quite thin. The bottom section will go inside the tree topper to hold the halo in place, so you want this to be quite fat. Cut away the middle section, leaving just a post to hold the halo up. Decorate the halo with tinfoil, sweet wrappers or metallic markers. And finally, cut the fold on the bottom section opposite the support post. This will help it fit neatly inside the tree topper. Then you can side it into the top of your angel. The way to make this Father Christmas is very similar to the way that we made the angel. The main difference is that the face is the same colour as the loo roll. Start by making his clothes, either from different coloured paper or colouring in a sheet of plain paper. This main sheet of paper should be about 2/3 of the height of the loo roll, with a bit extra on the bottom to tuck inside. Fold over the extra paper at the bottom of the loo roll so you know how much will be visible when your tree topper is finished. I've drawn on Father Christmas's red suit and belt and stuck on some real buttons too. Once you're happy with the design, cut flaps along the extra strip of paper at the bottom. Stick the paper to the loo roll and glue the flaps inside the roll. Draw eyes and a nose on the loo roll above the front of his clothes. His mouth will be covered by his beard. If you have cotton wool at home, you can use it to make Father Christmas's beard and hair. If you don't, this is how to use paper instead. Cut out a beard shape. You can have a shaped flat beard that you just stick on, or you can make a straggly long beard. To make the longer beard, use a bigger piece of paper and cut strips most of the way up the shape, leaving a gap at the top which you can use to stick the beard onto your figure. To curl the strips of beard, hold the piece of paper with your left hand. Put your right finger under the strips and hold a pencil against the paper on top. Then pull the paper through with your left hand. To make his hair, make sure you have a strip of paper long enough to go all round his head. Fold over one of the long sides of the paper. This will be folded inside the loo roll like before. Then, leaving a gap between the fold and the main area of paper, cut thin strips to make strands of hair. Use a pencil to curl the hair using the same technique as you did for the beard. Turn the paper round so you can then cut wider flaps along the other side of the fold. Put glue along the flaps and the gap between the fold and the strands of hair. Line the fold up with the top of the loo roll and stick. Then fold over the flaps as before, inside the roll to make a nice neat edge. Cut the hair hanging over the face to make a fringe, or cut it off completely if you prefer him to have a bald spot. You can make wizards' hair and beards the same way. I use scrunched up tissue stuffed into the top of the loo roll to make my Father Christmas's hair and the top of his head. Pomanders have been used for hundreds of years to make the air smell sweet. For a long time, people thought illness was caused by bad smells, so they would carry around a pomander to sniff whenever they smelt something nasty. Now, this orange and clove pomander is just a traditional Christmas decoration to hang on a Christmas tree or anywhere you want to smell Christmassy. Start by tying ribbon or string around your orange. You need a long length of ribbon. Find the midpoint and then use a pin or wire hoop, like the one I've drawn here, to hold it in place at the top of the orange. I reused unbent paper clips. Turn the orange upside down and tie the two ends of the ribbon in a knot. Use another pin or hoop to make it stay in place. Then take the two ends of the ribbon and tie them around the orange halfway between the first ribbons, so that your orange is divided into 4 sections, and tie at the top. Then use the rest of the ribbon to tie a loop so you can hang up your pomander. Next, decide what patterns or pictures you want to put on your pomander. Use a barbecue skewer, knitting needle or cocktail stick to make holes in the orange skin where you want to put the cloves. This makes it easier to press them into the orange. I did a smiley face, my initial E, and 2 stars on mine. Because the orange is fresh and not dried out, it may go mushy if it's left somewhere that's too moist. If you have cinnamon at home, dust some over the orange when you finish decorating it. It should make it last a bit longer. Of course, you can always make another one, as long as you have a spare orange and some cloves. We'd love to see what you've done, so post a picture of your work on social media using #FestiveMakes. Next week, I'm going to be making some simple presents. I hope you can join me then. Bye!